As Zarin and Vanya make their way out of the mine, Stone finishes arranging the last bit of explosives to collapse the exposed mine corridor. As he steps back, fuse in hand, he looks up one more time at Olin. He lets out a sigh, and then pulls out the notebook from his pack. He opens it up to a page full of names of those that have died by his own hands. In a moment, reflecting on what all has transpired, he closes the book, then tosses it over by the batch of explosives and lights the fuse. Hello and welcome to another adventure with Myths and Mystics. We're an actual play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To my right, Gerald Waldrop as Zarin the Changeling Avenger.
Hail and well met.
Natasha Waldrop as Vanya the Half-Drow Assassin.
Hi, happy to have you here.
And Matt Murphy as Stone the Human Mystic.
Hello, welcome back.
And I am Steve Messenger, your Dungeon Master. That's the first time we've been able to do an intro without derailing.
I was really close. Yeah, let's do that
I
again.
saw that.
I mean, she's a happy half-drow assassin.
Yeah, she's very happy.
We're so used to not having nice things that we have to...
Well,
We have
Stone's
to-
turned over a new leaf, so now it's just it's pleasantries.
Yeah. You're going to be the new hippie in the group.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't care. It's all good now, man. I don't
Very
have to
zen.
Yeah,
Very
give me
zen.
some of that.
Nah, we don't have to fight. It's cool.
Have some of this.
It's cool. Well, friends, where we left off, I guess we'll just dig right into it. You found Olin, the dude that stole your gal back in the day.
We vengeanced him.
You vengeanced the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Through some creative means, and you have recollapsed the mine corridor. I'm not entirely sure why you blasted it open to begin with.
I'm not sure either. Why did we do that? I didn't remember saying we should do that.
Okay,
We
so
did.
You were all
there's a couple of things.
I'm going to stomp on the fuse before it blows up. Like, wait, what are we doing?
No, well, now we're collapsing it. So there's a couple things. We went down there and we had to know who was behind what and what this was about. So obviously going along with the plan to an extent. Also, I felt like he wasn't going to come down unless progress was being made. So it was kind of like have something to show for it and not ruin the surprise of why I wanted him down there. And I think there's a big element of what was really beyond this. What was the real play here? If we never opened that hole, we were never gonna know what were they trying to unleash an undead army or like I have no idea. We opened it, nothing happens.
We
Let's
have
close it and get out.
investigated and determined motive
Yes,
during our travels to this cavern.
yes. Per the
We
sheet,
minimized
that is
casualties.
definition of minimize is very different than my.
We've kept this one Orcos
The guy
alive.
lives. This
Yes.
guy lived.
He's still alive.
Typically,
And
when
he
you
didn't
say
see anything.
minimize casualties, it's like keep as many alive as possible.
We did.
We did
Your-
definitely.
We
did.
did that.
Your definition seems to be like minimize the amount left
After casualties.
after casualties.
We added a couple words.
It's open to interpretation.
Think of how many people we may have saved by killing him and possibly his dad later.
Yeah.
Well, countless.
They're not
others.
Arcos. They're Legion. That's kind of the...
Yeah, but they're
Wait,
they're
are they
killing
not
folks.
Arcos too?
No,
No.
they're Legion.
The only Arcos fella that's with you is Aelin, who's now leaning over to the three of you as you're exiting mine. He says, so, sounds like we're not going to be doing any of this spice trade then, huh? That's kind of... You all blew up that corridor again.
I don't know why they blew up the corridor. Seems very counterproductive to me.
Yeah, I guess no more spice trade. All right, well.
We can always re-blow up the thing that they blew in.
Yeah. Sounds like this might be a bit of a back and forth game that you've got going on. But if we have to steal more explosives, I'm out because the casualties that we incurred were too great.
No, we definitely minimized the casualties.
It depends on your definition of minimize, but from my perspective, I guess that's 3 less gifts I have to buy around fantasy Christmas time.
The Yule.
The Yule season.
Fantasy Yule.
So the 3 of you are exiting the mine. What is it that you want to do from
So
here?
I saw him toss his book into the fire. Stone.
Stone just keeps walking. He hears you, but he's...
You know, he wasn't the only one responsible. Lillian was taken from you at the hands of Baron Liam.
Ah, I see.
I'm gonna hand him his scroll.
You can go back and get the book.
Your name is not yet.
Yeah, runs back. Oh no, my book!
There may be more room for names on there, just in case.
I'll take the scroll and just keep walking.
All right. So the 3 of you have your horses. You'll jump up on those, and Aelin jumps up with one of you. Who's it?
Where's his horse?
Still
in there?
No, we should have an extra one. I did not kill.
Yeah,
We didn't
Owen's
say we were
horse.
taking it with
Hey, Stone's not the only one who's turned over a new leaf here. Look at that.
So he takes the. There's one that would have the wagon carriage deal. So he's on that. He's riding alongside the 3 of you. Where are you gonna head to? Where do you want to go?
Where are we going?
I want to go collect my gold for our mission that we succeeded in.
So you could head back to the hub to clear out the mission and get your payment.
I think it's time for a hub visit. It's been a while.
We also should probably talk to Patroclus because Olin said the Legion will come for you, and we kind of ruined that whole deal. We probably should talk to Patroclus.
So there's that as well. Or you could also go back and talk to Simon because Simon was kind of anticipating, getting all this spice trade.
Screw Simon. What do we care about him?
I do need to speak with Simon.
Oh, he's that governor guy, right?
No, he's the leader of the Arcos.
Yep.
And we also need to go get Baron Liam.
Get him.
Warren.
Yep.
Go get him.
And Lillian. Are we going to search for her?
Get her.
We'll see.
Okay.
Seems like a season 10 type of thing.
Not just yet.
I didn't know if it was on his mind.
I'm not at all concerned about that.
I would have to imagine as you're leaving the mine and you're back on I guess the surface here.
We're just walking away. There's explosions going off behind us.
It's all kinds of
We don't look behind us.
the y'all have tinnitus now indefinitely from all the explosions too. By the way, no one was wearing hearing protection,
Now I have like a helmet.
which makes it worse.
We don't look cool by not looking though. There's people behind us like, put it out. Hey, you guys, help us. Hey, grab some
We look
water.
even cooler by ignoring everyone.
Yeah, we can ignore.
So Stone, you're going to be recanting this whole experience.
Yeah.
Like this is pretty heavy on you. He did mention that she had Lillian had made her way off to Song Meadow, and
Yes.
from what you recall at Song Meadow, there was only one person that left alive.
Right.
So
I do think that going to investigate that is something that's going to happen very soon here. I was joking. That is going to be a priority for Stone, just to head there and see if there's a chance.
yeah.
Because I'm not just going to accept that reality just
Where
yet.
is Song Meadow in relation to Orin?
East,
How far?
hour ride,
And in relation to us right now?
an hour and a half ride.
We can stop at Orin first, or we can head that way and circle back.
And it's only an hour and a half ride. We might as well check on her.
What time of day is it?
It is nighttime. It's probably 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
The nighttime is the right time
Yeah, it'll be dawn soon.
to check, to search for things.
And,
Search for dead people in a town we don't know.
Absolutely.
I think we should return there during the daylight.
Pussy.
I think.
That's what I'm after.
I mean, are we talking about this in character, or are we kind of just talking about
We're
this?
just kind of talking about this.
Because if we go to Song Meadow now, we know, because we were recently there, that it's pretty decimated. We can look for clues. And then no one's going to be at the hub this early in the morning anyway. So we might as well go take care of it while everyone's sleeping and then go when the city wakes up to
Take
talk
care
to the
of
hub.
what while everyone's sleeping?
Song Meadow.
Take care of Song Meadow.
I mean,
Take
nobody's
care of
there. So there's no one we have to wait to wake up or anything. We can kind
I
of just...
think he's thinking of the fact that he can't see into the dark like Vanya can.
Well, yeah, Vondi can't. So why not?
all right, Song Meadow or Simon?
Okay,
Simon,
we're off to...
Is Simon in Orin?
Simon, he's going to be about 45 minutes south, half hour.
All right. So he's kind of on the way anyway.
Yeah, it's all within a close proximity, so it's not really a matter of time. It's just a matter of what you want to do first.
All right.
Vanya doesn't care because she is not emotionally attached to
She
any
feels
of these.
nothing. All right, so
Except for a thirst for blood.
Let's go to Simon.
all right, so the three of you, along with Aelin, ride down back to the Arcos hideout, sort of in the urban sort of.
Right. Aelin, he's here. Yes, we need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, not get rid of him, just
Okay.
drop him off.
So
We don't need him riding around with us looking for dead bodies.
We keep doing that thing where we're on our horses and we look back and then we like turn and then he turns and we're like, still behind us. He's
like,
like, guys, wait up.
wasn't real sure what we were doing. I was just following you. So the four of you make your way back down to the Arcos hideout HQ.
Can we rest here? Being it's like 2 a.m.
Sure.
Oh, now you want to rest.
If you ask nicely, I'm sure Simon would probably put you up. You know, after you report back how good a job he did with the mission he just sent you on.
We did what he
It's
asked.
ready
we don't even
for
have to lie
spice
about it.
trade.
I think,
We opened the hole.
We did open
but
a
the
hole.
hole is now closed.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
not that hole. It's a different hole.
Yeah.
We opened the hole. The mission is successful.
All right.
And then the hole closed at a different spot.
So you're going to deliver this message to him because you're now rolling up, and the Arcos guards outside. They slide open that barn door, and Aelin leads the way, and he parks his carriage inside. Three of you bring your horses in, pop off, and Aelin says, "Well, I'll go grab Simon real quick, and you all can tell him what the hell you just did, because I don't know what just happened." So good luck with that conversation. And he stomps up the stairs.
Stone goes over to the bar. He's going to let Zarin handle this.
Okay.
I just in his frame of mind, he's not concerned about this conversation with Simon.
All right.
All right. So Simon comes walking out and says, "What all happened? What went down with the mine? Aelin seemed very concerned."
Simon, unfortunately, Olin had sabotaged everything.
What do you mean?
We opened up the hole, and then there was an attack. There were explosions set up.
You're really doing this.
Yeah.
You're committing to this.
I'm just digging. As soon as he started to go down this story, Matt just leaned forward to get a good look at the story being woven out of whole cloth here.
No, everything I've said so far is true.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna need your
is how
roll.
Christians lie.
We had to kill Olin.
Okay, so you killed Olin. What
But-
about the corridor? Is it open?
We had opened the corridor, but those explosions, they collapsed another part of the tunnel. They will need to be reopened.
It was very unsteady to begin with. There were obvious cracks and time on this mine. It was very risky to open the cave in the first place.
All right, well, roll a deception check, please.
I'm not lying. Do I need to roll one too?
No. You don't. The guy who's trying to spin all of this into his narrative direction.
We have 15.
He says, well, what are we going to do to get it reopened then?
You would need more explosives.
You would also need to fortify the areas that are weak down there.
We should
And there are many.
We should probably also figure out what the Legion's up to. I don't know.
I mean, the Legion.
Didn't Olin work directly for the Legion?
I'm not familiar with Olin, who this is. The person I was working with, he didn't claim any Legion relations.
What was the name of the person you worked with? Because Olin said he was expected to meet you.
He's kind of looking at you a little funny. He says, as a young man with sort of a large bodyguard of sorts, he did not go by the name of Olin. So something here isn't adding up. And you're telling me that structural integrity is jeopardized down there. We're going to need more explosives to go back down in. This sounds like a death trap for my men.
Perhaps. What was the name of the person you were supposed to be working with? And why was this Olin there?
Well, his name was Byron. But this doesn't add up. I'm going to have to... I'm going to have to... I've got a feeling we're being set up. If there was an attack that went on down there and explosions were going off, I'm wondering if perhaps maybe even the Dare Doc were involved.
Olin did seem to know a lot of information about this trade.
And Olin, you said he has Legion ties.
Had.
That's what he
He
said.
is tied to the name Baron Liam.
Son of Liam. Baron Liam.
He kind of sits back a little bit and in a stance, and he says, "That's very strange. So I've been working through correspondence with this Byron who'd been setting everything up. You're telling me this is Olin, son of Baron Liam of the Legion, who was down there orchestrating this?" He's like,
Aye.
This doesn't add up at all. There's been some sort of setup. I don't know what it's about, and I don't know who else to go after at this point, but I appreciate you risking your lives to do what you had to do down there. At this point, I'm not confident in opening that corridor is the right move for anyone.
If you have any information about the Legion's involvement, I'd appreciate knowing. We'd work best together in this regard.
The bizarre thing here is that through all this interaction with Byron, with no mention of the Legion whatsoever, I doubt the Legion would even know what's going on. I don't know if you have any context on the inside, but this doesn't feel right.
Where did you meet Byron, or where are his whereabouts?
As most stories start, it met over a cup of ale, and he found me. I was drinking, he was drinking, and we got talking business, and it seemed easy enough, but I mean, we lost a lot of men down there. Casualties weren't really minimized, were they?
We did the best we could.
There were
At least there was a
minimal
survivor.
Do you plan to see this Byron again?
No, at this point, from what you're describing to me, either there was Legion interference, and this whole thing's been thwarted, or Olin and Byron are one and the same. I'm not sure, but
How did you get this correspondence to Byron?
well, there's been a lot going on through the Drunken Wyvern. We were supposed to meet in the back room, and yes, that's where we'd been exchanging most of our information. So, I'm going to go put some my ear to the ground up at the Wyvern and see what I could find out. And if that man doesn't return back to his room, I have a feeling they were one and the same. So
Did he
Agreed.
look like a douche?
yeah, he really looked like a real asshole.
Dark, greasy hair.
The kind of person you could murder in a very descript and specific way.
All right. Probably one and the same.
All right. Well, keep me posted. Keep me informed. But thank you again for all that you've done. And he nods, and he puts his hand up on your shoulders there, and he says, "You've been a great ally to the Argos. Thank you."
The Argos is a great ally for justice.
Nice. Well, justice and other things. And he nods and he says, "Be safe out there." And
Ooh, can we rest?
sure. Yeah.
Like a long time.
I would like to rest for a long time.
Well, we'll be making waffles at 7. So
In the morning, I'm making
Excellent.
waffles.
the waffles. All right. So the three of you are going to go in and take a long rest.
Yes.
Perfect.
I don't need one, but I knew they did.
Yeah. So
See me looking out for the party?
it is an older
This
house.
guy.
Is a much older house. So when you walk in, it's got this very stale smell. Almost like a moldy, mildewy. I mean, it's a bunch of guys running like a mafia style business and it's not kept up real nice. But there are some beds you lay down in. You have to kind of like kick some beer bottles out of the one, and you guys get a nice long rest.
Whoop whoop.
And 7 o'clock rolls around, and as you're sleeping through the night here, again, Zarin is in that space where he's having that dream.
Oh my goodness. You have your own room? So we don't have to hear your screams? Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Is there another room for this guy? He screams in his sleep. But Zarin,
Can you put one of those walls around him in
Yeah,
the
all
soundproof?
barrier.
Wow.
Yep. You know who your real friends are.
It's just my mystic hand over his mouth all night.
So, Zarin, you were in that space again, and everything's flashing in front of you. And again, this time, much like the last time, it's the first time you heard it and just here recently, but it happens again where the hands come around you to keep you from getting up out of the bed. She's in front of you. The knife goes down towards her throat, and from behind you, you hear the word "sinner" hissed in your ear, and you wake up.
And Stone's got his hand on your shoulder because Stone doesn't actually sleep.
Oh, right.
So Stone is going, "You're back. You're back. Was it the dream again?
Always.
It's all right. You're safe here." I don't know where I'm going with this, but
Well,
that's just the kind
probably-
of relationship we have.
Probably waffles. Downstairs.
I think I smell waffle.
He will nod more quickly, reassured and back in his mindset than usual. He's usually very disoriented, but yeah, Stone actually helps him get back and focused.
Okay, perfect. So, the three of you, unless there's any other business here,
Just damn waffles.
you get a mouthful of waffles and you get one to go. You put it in your pocket, and
Pocket.
yep.
That's where we put waffles to go.
Put it in my wallet.
I don't. Where would you put them otherwise?
Prison wallet.
Fill my bag of holding.
Yeah,
Bombs and waffles.
Bombs and waffles.
That is a plate dump into the bag of holding for sure.
all right. So the three of you mount up, and we are headed to.
We ride. Song Meadow. Yeah.
All right.
Just the
I'm here
three of
to-
us and our horses.
Yeah.
I'm here to kick ass and eat waffles.
I'm all out of ass.
And I've got a bag of holding with waffles for days.
Yes.
So
Just throw the whole bag and light it sometime. I just want to eat bombs and waffles.
So the three of you make your way up to Song Meadow.
Wait, what happened to what's his name?
You want to bring Aelin along? Hey, am I still following y'all? Because I've got other
Go
business to
away.
I mean, I've been having a great time. You seem like you're a great bunch of fellows.
Would you like to see what happens next?
Well, I mean, narratively speaking, yes. So the three of you take off, and Aylin's like, I'm just joshing y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your existence.
Murderous existence.
And you head off to Song Meadow. And as you approach, it's been a while since you've been out here. It's probably been a good 8 or 9 months.
Oh, well.
Yeah, because that was season 1. So yeah, 8 or 9 months.
That we went after those beastie thingies.
The beastie thingies. And you ride up into the town, and for the most part, it's still in the same shape that you left it in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
No one cares about this town.
No.
it's been
It's a bad investment.
not good resale, right? A lot of the walls have been clawed at, ripped apart, doors bashed in by these beasts, and you make your way up into the town. Why don't you guys tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you what I want you to do.
I want to perceive all the things.
Yep.
Perfect. Roll a perception check.
Yes, we're looking
Great.
for Lillian.
We're perceiving the things.
How do we do?
I'm just, looking around. I have no idea what Lillian looks like. so
Stone's at an
I rolled
11.
20.
9.
All right. So Zarin is more looking for threats, just to make sure there's no wild beasts that are still out and about and that sort of thing.
It's really what's important.
Yeah, you gotta stay safe. Stone, you are a bit emotionally preoccupied with. It doesn't feel good, and the whole time that you're looking, it's more of a frantic look than anything. You're keeping your composure, but
Right.
Vanya, you start working your way into some of the houses, and again, everyone's crossbows are drawn, and you're making sure you stay safe and that sort of thing, and you find a smaller house kind of tucked away. It's kind of, even though you're literally in the middle of this huge field, this huge meadow, some of these houses are crowded closer to each other, kind of clustered together. And you find a pretty simple, almost like a hut. And you work your way in there. And something about this room seems to stick out to you, as though this was definitely a single person living in here, female. And as you're looking around, you do find a bit of a notebook sitting there with some pages of diary entries and that sort of thing. And you conclude pretty quickly that if someone here was named Lillian, who kind of fits this description of this background, there's plenty of evidence in this notebook to suggest this was hers. You then look down at the ground to see what looks like 10 sets of fingernail scratches being drug out of the hut.
All right. I'm going
Stone's just outside.
to take the notebook,
Okay.
put it in my bag of holding,
Wondering what Vanya's up to.
Everything all right in there, Vanya?
and
Seems like you're on to something, eh?
And that is where we're going to cut to a break. Welcome to the break. It's all on me now. All eyes on me. Okay, well, welcome. Before there was a podcast about D&D, I literally just did this for an hour, just rambling into the microphone, hoping something would stick. And downloads per week, there was about 30. They were all mine, different devices, and now here we are. So it's come a long way. Come a long way. Speaking of which, you don't have to go far or come a long way to get to MissingMystics.com. It can literally come a long way in your pocket. You could download all kinds of stuff, all kinds of content material that you could enjoy later or now. Either way, you can stream it, you can pause it, you can show it to your friends, you can show it to strangers, you can show them whatever you want. MrsMixes.com has all of our videos, links to videos, our Instagram, our Twitter. There's all kinds of great material there. This is probably my finest work. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the show. Welcome back from the break.
That's a good tune.
You're back.
Da, da, da,
Yep.
da, da, da.
No better way to segue into this nice, heartfelt moment.
Yeah.
No.
I'm seeing,
Or possibly deceptive moment.
what was that, the movie with Kevin Bacon, the girl with her. She breaks her nail, like, trying to hold on.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. But I can't
Stir
think
of Echoes.
That's it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Kevin Bacon.
You want a very visceral scene of a girl trying to hold on and, like, digging her nails into the floorboards as she's drug out and, like, the nail breaking off.
Yikes.
Pretty terrible.
So
You're welcome.
that mental image. Now segueing over to Vanya, who's standing there, notebook in hand, looking at the claws in the dirt, fingernail claws leading out. What do you want to do?
Follow the trail.
Follow the trail of fingernails.
It's like an 8-mile trail.
Well, okay. Follow it for a time. I don't know how far it goes. So depending on how far I can tell this is her hands, if I'm going to be leaving the vicinity of these two, I'm going to motion at them to come this way. Otherwise, I'm going to follow the trail.
Okay. So you step outside to where the door has been sort of blasted open. I need you to roll a nature check to see if you can. Well, would that be survival? Survival, yeah, for tracking. Survival, please.
Okay. Survival. 19.
Excellent.
So you see a
You
certain
survive.
point where the fingernail scratches. It's been some time, so immediately outside they get super faint because of natural erosion, water, wind, the whole 9 yards. But there are some faint, extremely faint tracks from those beasts that you had fought so long ago. And it's, if you're going to put two and two together, seems like this is where it has somehow picked her up or something, because you no longer see any of the scratch marks on the ground.
Okay. Where are these two? Can I see them?
Stone's like across the street. Lillian! Are you in here?
Oh boy.
No, I'm just kidding. He's just investigating quietly.
Yeah. Kind of poking into some of the houses, so
Yeah.
that's within earshot.
Okay.
There's another dead body over here. Is this her? No.
It is not her.
Stone. Varen. Zaren. Not Varen.
Well, this is awkward.
Yes, Zanya.
Sorry.
Lasagna. That is your name.
I do like lasagna.
I may have found some of her belongings.
What?
She said she may have found some of her belongings.
Oh. Right. No. Give me
I-
that.
I hold the diary.
No,
This-
no need to be rude.
I am not sure everything that is in here, but read it carefully and slowly. You've had a lot going on.
And you hand it to Stone?
Yes.
Okay. Where did you find this?
I point
Stone
to the
starts
hut.
leafing through it to see if it clicks that this is her handwriting and her name, her style of speech. And
So, as you're flipping through the pages, you notice that there's a fair amount of poetry that she's written, talking about a lot of things out in nature and that sort of thing.
Stones and rocks.
Mostly just the stones.
I found a shiny one today.
But you do know that she was fond of writing poetry. And there is one entry in particular where it seems like she's lamenting a position that she was put in many years ago, where she was forced to leave someone that she loved for what was ultimately the biggest mistake in her life. There aren't names per se in there. It definitely lines up with the experience that you were all in so many years ago.
Recognize the handwriting at all?
As you are turning the pages, there's a couple more poems that they seem a little bit sadder, a little more sorrow. And there's one that ends with one word, and it's a name, and it's your name.
Stone or my real name?
She doesn't know your stone name.
Right. Okay. I immediately go to the very end of these entries, and I want to read the last one or two.
I can't help but do the Monty Python thing where it says, "Oh."
What do you mean? Oh,
He wouldn't take the time to write out,
maybe he was dying.
He would just simply say, "Oh."
Oh,
No, more of the back of your
throat.
throat.
Like, oh no! Oh, it's
right.
an alarm and surprise.
No,
More importantly, are they dated?
You just stay like stoic through that whole
my
thing.
name.
I couldn't help myself. For being a quote unquote comedy podcast, I couldn't help myself. Anyways, there are no dates per se in there, but the last entry, it seemed like it was a little bit happier. It was more of a nature themed sort of entry as far as the poetry and whatnot. But there's nothing there that indicates necessarily that anything to do with your situation.
I sort of
So-
think about like the reading in the Lord of the Rings when they're in the mines of Moria, the drums in the deep.
I was thinking, was this journal, are there any entries that were after this town had met its fate? So indicating she may be alive.
Doesn't seem that way.
Cannot tell. Still dark?
No, at this point, you guys had a long rest.
Yes, no.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
had waffles
just before
for
noon,
breakfast.
probably.
So it's mid morning.
Nice and bright.
There
Well, I think it. Sorry, I think it. Yes. What?
were unfortunately marks in her
Marks.
hut indicating she was taken from it.
Show me.
I'm not sure. It's something you need to see.
That's why I said show me.
Where did they lead? And where do they end?
Not far from each other. I shall show you.
So the three of you walk over, and Vanya, you motion to the hut there, and Stone, I think from knowing that this is a gal that came from nobility, that to see this is where she likely spent years of her life living below poverty. This is definitely going to impact you a little bit different than what you, I guess, might have expected. And you are going to walk up to the hut. Zarin, I think at this point, your instincts of protector and that sort of thing, are you going to follow him in, or are you going to stay back and let him kind of do his thing?
I'm gonna keep a distance. Yeah.
Vanya, the same? Mm-hmm. Knowing that he's going to see the things that you saw, just let the man have some room. Stone, you walk in, and you look down. You see a bed that the covers look like they've been pulled off.
He's like, roll perception. I roll a 1. You see nothing. You
Looks
literally-
fine.
It's
Looks
a room.
fine.
There's dirt. Bed.
You look around the room, and you see the claw marks on the floor from her fingernails being drug out.
Yeah. I don't think there's any doubt at this point, given the journal. You pointed this here. I think it's a matter of. I don't think it's a matter of Stone trying to accept. Was this her? I think we're past that. So Stone would fall to his knees and begin weeping.
So Stone
But also
Yep.
realizing that this means there's a chance she's alive out there. A body would indicate one thing. This, however, is a chance at a new life. So, he's got mixed emotions.
I think Zarin will return the favor from this morning when he woke up. Walk up to Stone, put his hand on his shoulder. Let's see if we can find her friend.
So Stone's composing himself, and he's down on the ground, still trying to get his emotions about him. He lines up both of his hands with the claw marks, and he puts his hands down into those depressions and just feels what would have been where her fingers were. And in that moment, you look up, Stone, and you see laying on the ground next to what would have been like a nightstand sort of thing, there's a little bit of cross stitch that's laying there. And it is,
Probably nothing.
as you lean over and you pick it up, it is a intricately stitched flower. It was sort of a lily. It was what she was a bit named after, but it was also her favorite flower. And in the stitching, you can see that your name is stitched in there as part of like the ivy and the leaves coming off of it.
I will keep that item.
So you're a thief now.
Yeah.
I will. What's the name say? Just curious if I can see the name.
Do you see
You
it?
probably didn't see it.
No,
It's in front of me. So.
Everyone wants to know what the name is.
Do any of your psi abilities let you see anything prior to
Hang on.
24 hours?
Nope.
No, but at this point, it's worth a try in the daylight. Stone pulls out one of those magical candlesticks.
Okay.
Nah, my candles.
Did you get these? Stone, he doesn't talk. He pulls one out and just with energy beam just lights one of these candles and holds it to the ground where these scratch marks are.
No.
It's a Hail Mary,
Yep.
but
Full of grace.
So you stand up, and as you step out of the hut, you can see that there are faint tracks of what would have been her footsteps, because the way that they're almost like these long illuminated jags that are in the ground, as though her feet were digging in and trying to keep from being carried away. There's a certain point as you make your way, you're following with the candle 15, 20 yards away. The feet go from these sort of jagged scraping marks on the ground to just two parallel lines
you jerk.
that drag off into the woods.
All right. This is an immediacy to Stone. Mission
Right.
critical is now this way, and he just takes off, following these lines.
So you're running through the woods. Your hand is up around the candle, trying to keep it from blowing out, and feverishly scouring the ground, finding where the tracks kind of disappear here and there. And you make your way through the woods to the clearing, and your stomach sinks as you make your way up to the mouth of the cave where you had found the pile of bodies before. Down at the bottom, where the beasts have been dragging the bodies down to feed the younger beasts. And as you make your way down there, the two lines line up to a body that is long decayed and fallen apart. The skeletal remains of a figure there.
This got real grim real fast, Steve. They line up perfectly. There's no need to flip this over and
Try again.
As Stone kneels down next to the body, the even though this is the grim, dark situation that it is, there is a beautiful smell coming from the body, from the candle. That is, in a way, it sort of reminds you of, in a strange way, the way that she smelled when you would see her.
Aww.
And you kneel down next to the remains, and you know that it's her.
Zarin, looking at Stone and looking at the body, is reminded of his own tragic loss.
you would make this about you. What a jerk this guy.
But
What was that? What did I write in my notebook? was narcissistic one?
looks at Stone, waits for his gaze to be returned, and will look at the scroll that Zarin gave him wherever he tucked it in his belt or whatever. There is more to do.
Stone's just weeping on his knees.
Did you write narcissist on your?
It was actually written under Stone.
Oh,
Which is exactly what a narcissist would do in that situation, is call someone out because
Yes.
you're self-projecting your own narcissism on someone else.
Projection.
Yep.
How dare you take the attention off me?
Manya's just like hanging back.
Oh, this is
Oh,
awkward.
no. I have a bottle of hooch ready for him.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I have a bottle of hooch and I'm drinking it.
No.
Probably a
like-
little bit.
This looks like I'm glad I've never had that.
That sucks.
So some time passes. You all give Stone some space.
Stone's going to
and-
bury this body.
So Stone, as you
I'll help you
Yeah, well,
if he starts doing that.
as you step up out of the cavern, cradling what's left in a sort of a blanket that you have handy, you step up to the mouth of the cave and you overlook this meadow that's been on this slope, and it's almost fitting of the times that you used to sit on the bench overlooking the valley. And in a moment, even though none of this played out the way you wanted it to, you find a moment of peace and a moment of beauty overlooking this valley. And your friends by your side start digging the grave to lay down her remains. And as you pile up the rocks on top of the body, you place the last stone at her headstone. And that's where we're going to end this week's episode of Myths and Mystics. Thanks for tuning in.